When you picture a ghost story, where does your mind go? A dark and stormy night? A creaky old house? We've all been conditioned to think that ghosts are creatures of the night. But what if some of the most chilling paranormal encounters don't wait for the sun to go down? What if they happen in broad daylight? These are the stories that defy the horror movie rules and suggest that sometimes the things that haunt us are hiding in plain sight. First, let's head to Norfolk, England, and a beautiful estate called Raynham Hall. For over a century, locals have whispered about the Brown Lady, a ghost said to wander its halls. The story points to the spirit of Lady Dorothy Walpole, sister of Britain's first Prime Minister, who lived there in the early 1700s. Legend says her husband, who was known for his violent temper, discovered she'd had an affair and locked her away in the hall, while official records list her cause of death in 1726 as smallpox. Other tales insist she died from a tragic fall down the stairs or was perhaps even pushed. For years, the sightings were just talk. Then came September 1936. Two photographers, Captain Proven and his assistant Andre Shira, were at the hall on assignment for Country Life magazine. As they were setting up to photograph the grand staircase, Shira suddenly yelled. He saw a misty, veiled figure descending the stairs right toward them. Proven snapped the picture, and the result is one of the most famous and controversial ghost photos ever taken. The image appears to show a faint, spectral woman on the staircase, captured in the light of day. But from the moment it was published, the debate began. Skeptics argue it's just a smudge on the lens or a clever double exposure. Shira, however, was adamant he saw an apparition. Though Proven remained less sure, real or not, the photo of the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall made people wonder if ghosts could show up in a simple, well-lit photograph. Not all hauntings are a quick glimpse of a ghost. Some are relentless. Physical assault that doesn't stop for sunrise. In August 1977, in the London borough of Enfield, a single mother named Peggy Hodgson frantically called the police to her home. She was terrified. Furniture was moving, and her two daughters, Jonna and Margaret, heard knocking coming from inside the walls. A police constable who responded to the call even filed a report, stating she saw a chair slide across the floor and couldn't find any rational explanation for it. But that was just the beginning. Over the next 18 months, the family and dozens of witnesses, including journalists and paranormal investigators, reported a storm of activity. Toys were thrown in broad daylight, heavy furniture was overturned, and fires would spontaneously break out. The chaos seemed to revolve around 11-year-old Jonna, who was allegedly levitated, and even seemed to speak with a gruff, disembodied voice. However, the case is tangled in controversy. Investigators like Maurice Gross and Guy Lyon Playfair were convinced much of it was genuine, but there's also proof the girls faked some events to test the investigators. Jonna herself later admitted they faked about 2% of the phenomena, which led many to dismiss the whole thing as a prank. Still, believers argue that doesn't explain everything. It doesn't explain the police report or the sheer number of incidents witnessed by so many others. The Enfield poltergeist is a stark reminder that the most aggressive hauntings can terrorize a family at any hour, day or night. You might expect to find ghosts in an old manor. But what about one of the most secure buildings on the planet? The White House in Washington, D.C. isn't just the heart of American power, it is also said to be one of its most haunted buildings, with a history of daytime sightings. And these aren't just spooky rumors. Some stories come from presidents, first ladies, and visiting dignitaries. The most famous spectral resident is Abraham Lincoln. First Lady Grace Coolidge claimed she saw him in the middle of the day, standing in the yellow Oval Room and looking out the window. Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands was reportedly staying at the White House when she heard a knock, opened her door, and saw Lincoln's ghost standing in the hall before she fainted. But Lincoln isn't the only one hanging around. The ghost of Abigail Adams, the first lady to live in the residence, has supposedly been seen heading toward the sunlit East Room with her arms out, as if carrying laundry to dry. just as she did in life. And during the Wilson administration, staff claimed the spirit of Dolly Madison appeared in the Rose Garden, apparently to stop them from moving it. Of course, these are all part of White House folklore, not verified events. But the fact that these tales come from such credible witnesses makes you wonder if even the brightest halls of power have their own shadows. Darkness might make our fears feel bigger, but it doesn't own the unexplained. These stories show that spirits can and do appear in the light, forcing us to rethink what we believe is possible. What would you do if you saw a ghost while the sun was shining? Let me know in the comments. And if you have a story of your own, I'd love to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that challenge the ordinary. After all, the things that haunt us are often hiding in plain sight. Subscribe now, and let every night whisper to you.